Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko and They Cry, episode number 6. So last time we had a love trial for Kanon and Shannon, and it was against Rosa and Maria and Sakutaro. But yeah, they easily lost though. Maria, Sakutaro, they easily lost. And it was just done just like that. We also learned a little bit of backstory, I guess, on what or why. I mean, why Rosa needed money. It was because she was in debt, because she did a loan and co-signed with Maria's dad, and he left, and she needed to pay that. So anyways, let us continue. Natsuhi could be seen in her personal room. Kraus had told her to go to bed, but she couldn't afford to lie around sleeping on an important day like this. However, she realized that she was the type to get excited easily, and that this sometimes held her husband back. So, though she didn't like it one bit, there was no way around it. It was probably close to the time for the break to end, and the family conference would begin once again in the dining hall. Her husband would have to protect the Ushirimiya family honor from those greedy siblings all by himself. If she grew emotional by his side, she would just tie him down. Though she knew that quietly waiting here was the best way she could support him, that didn't make the waiting any easier. Natsuhi pulled a small treasure box out of the drawer. This was her secret box. Inside was everything from valuable items to mere rubbish. However, they were all precious and memorable treasures in Natsuhi's eyes. She pulled a small pouch out of the box. She stuck her hand inside it. It was kind of a charm that her own family had given her when she had married. A spirit mirror to ward off evil. Her own face was reflected in it. Youth doesn't last forever. Recently, she'd seen a bit of her parents and grandparents on her own face. So by staring at her reflection in the mirror like this, she felt as though her soul had returned to the family she'd been born into. I mean, yeah, what wasn't her family, what was that, what is the term again? Miko? Where is it? Tips right now. This one, yes, Shinto shrines. Shrine maiden.
夏日が不勉強なばかりに夫の支えになれません。
Of course, her face in the mirror did not answer. However, Natsuhi continued.
夫を愛しているからこそ私はここで待っています。しかし愛は寄り添うものと私は思ってしまいます。ここでこうしているのが一番の協力になると理屈では分かっているのに、そんな自分に惨めさを感じてしまうのです。辛いですね。愛ゆえに待つのは。
With a plop, a tear fell onto the mirror. Old, dear memories of her life at her parents' house rose up inside her. Now was the time for her to follow her parents' example. When her father came home late, her mother would always sit up straight, waiting for him, prepared for him to arrive at any moment. She would always wait for him, kneeling in the entrance hall. And no matter how late he came home, she would always wake up all the children and line them up to greet him. At that time, I only thought of her as being exceptionally strict. But at this age, I finally understood or understand how strong she was, persevering in her love for her beloved husband even after being left in charge of the house while he was out.
その夫への愛ゆえに
Who's that?
見知らぬ赤子を抱かされるのが許されなかったのですね。
Oh, is that a Chick Beato? The sudden voice made Natsuhi jump up and look about the room. When she did, there was a Western lady wrapped in extravagant dress.
誰です
Natsuhi was confused. There was no one like this in the mansion. However, though this was her first time seeing this person, it felt as though she had seen her somewhere else. Her mind had gone blank with anger at the ruffian who had snuck into her private room and confusion over the appearance of someone she didn't know. So I think the thing that they're going to be talking about here is the same as last episode. Yeah, the baby, right? Yeah, look at this. You couldn't bear to be made to care for an unfamiliar child. So it took quite some time before she realized that this was the witch of the portrait. Though you murdered a baby you didn't know on that day 19 years ago, I will not hold that sin against you.
あなたが何の話ですか?
Beato had chosen Natsuhi as her sacrifice. She was Butler's enemy. Beato didn't know much about the details of Butler's birth. However, she knew about the fragment from the previous game and knew that there was a chance that Butler was a baby that Natsuhi had pushed off a cliff 19 years ago. I do not think so. Yeah, I highly doubt it. Butler had used this blue wedge to protect Natsuhi from certain false charges. What if he took it as a confession by Butler himself? Then from Beato's position, Natsuhi was an enemy who probably forced Butler to live a painful life.
夫への愛ゆえに夫の血を引かぬ赤子を殺した罪を私は愛ゆえに問いません。何の話か分かりません。出て行って、ここは私の部屋です。ならば私の愛ゆえにあなたを殺すこともまた。
Beato slowly stuck out her arms and made it as if to grab something in empty space. That grab bound itself around Natsuhi's neck. Natsuhi's heels lifted up and a faint purple shape appeared around her neck. Natsuhi frantically scratched her neck, trying to stop whatever was strangling her, but there was nothing there. So to an outsider, it just looked as though Natsuhi was standing on her toes in anguish, scratching at her own neck.
愛し合う二人たちが皆決意を見せました。私のバトラさんへの思いがそれに劣っているとは思いません。私が19年前のあなたの罪を咎めないように、私も自らのこの罪を咎めません。
As Natsuhi twisted in agony, something she had been grasping fell from her grip. Since it had fallen by her feet, Beato dropped her gaze to see what it was. It was Natsuhi's spirit mirror. When she peered into it, there was a sound like a burst of electricity. That sound released Natsuhi from the invisible hands and made Beato topple backwards like a doll. Coughing, Natsuhi tried to comprehend what was going on around her. Beato rolled over and, dizzy as though she had just bumped her head, she slowly tried to stand up. Her eyes were bewildered as though even she didn't really understand what had happened.
これは何なんですか？これは意外だ。雲の巣を触っても平気だったそなたが霊境はダメだというのか。私にも何が何だか分かりません。
Wait, did this elder Beato had always had that line on her head? You see that line near the eyebrows? What is that? Let me see this. Yeah, it's not here. Look at it, it's not here, right? Okay.
一体何が。
She had thought that only Beato the Elder possessed non-human weak points, such as getting burned by spiderwebs and wards having her power sealed by spirit mirrors. However, for some reason, the spirit mirror alone could apparently affect Beato as well. Even Beato couldn't understand what about the spirit mirror had such an overpowering effect on her. But Natsu, she was different. She instantly realized that the reason for the hesitation of this unearthly being, this witch of the portrait, must be the power of the mirror. So she rapidly crawled across the floor and picked it up. Then she stuck it out so that Beato could see it. Beato still didn't know what was happening, so still sitting down, she looked straight at it. And at this time, both of them understood the situation completely. Beato realized that the mirror was working some hateful power against her, and Natsuhi realized that the mirror had the power to repel witches.
鏡が。どうして。それはお前が横島の魔女だからです。霊言新たかなるこの霊境は邪悪な存在の全てを退けるのです。それを向けないで。
With the spirit mirror still held out, Natsuhi cautiously closed the gap between them. She was cautious so as to prevent the other from suddenly lashing out and stealing the mirror, but she suddenly moved to the corner, or to corner this evil.
あなたが何者なのか私には分かりません。分かるのはあなたは私を殺そうとしたこと、そしてこの霊境にひるむ邪悪な存在であるということです。退きなさい、邪悪め。
Beato didn't understand what was happening herself. She didn't know why she had to fear the spirit mirror. However, she tried to look at the bright light let off by the spirit mirror. It pierced her eyes. Though she didn't understand why she must be afraid, she did understand that she must be afraid. By now, Beato realized that the spirit mirror was both terrifying and harmful. As it came closer to her, she felt an increasingly strong and painful burning sensation over her whole body, as though someone was approaching her with a hot iron. She couldn't even open her eyes because of the mirror's bright, painful glint.
Sa, 元の世界へ退散なさい、横島なる者よ。この後ろ宮夏希、邪悪に対して一歩たりともひるみはしません。
It's no use. Why? Why is this musty mirror so... If I lose here, I'll be the only one to fail this trial. Just like George-san and Shannon-san and Jessica-san and Kanan-san, I also want Butler-san to acknowledge me and treasure me. And even though I finally managed to be honest with myself, in a place like this, I alone will be...
諦めちゃうの？あなただけが？
信じるんだ。愛の奇跡は必ず起こる。
I love Butler-san. I want him to notice me. I don't want him to acknowledge and accept my feelings. And my reason for calling him father and dedicating myself to him was out of duty towards a parent of mine. I would have been satisfied with no reward. That was a deception I used to fool myself. I love Butler-san, and I want him to acknowledge it. I accept it. I won't turn away any longer. I was born because I love Butler-san, and I want him to love me back.
ころで負けられないんです。退散なさい、横島なる者よ。ここにあなたの居場所は存在しません。
Her determination had come too late. If she'd had it from the start, she would probably have managed to finish Natsui off right then without any fear. Because she had wavered, it had taken time to kill Natsui and things had ended up like this. But now I am resolved. I want to love Butler's son. I want him to love me.
だからここで負けられない。バトラさんのために私は生まれてきたのだから。
そう、それが。
聞きたかった。
Just after a sound like a beetle bang off of all the walls filled the room, the spirit mirror was knocked out of Natsui's outstretched hand. It fell to the floor, and the stake flying around the room pierced through it with a crash. Okay, the stakes are here? Oh my god.
傲慢のルシファー、ここに。
Hey, you need a stake against Natsui? What?
久しぶりの獲物が古ぼけた鏡一枚だなんて、私を愚弄するにも程があるわ。
I mean, I guess she can't really touch her. I mean, she can touch Natsui because of the spirit mirror, right? So I guess she needs help. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
ルシファーさ。
But yeah, you could literally take that lamp right there and then throw it at Natsui. Then it would shatter the mirror. You don't need her. You don't need the stake, I mean.
ベアトリーチェ様、試練の遂行を。逃げられます。誰か来てください。誰か。
Now that the Muse Spirit Mirror, her last ray of hope, had been smashed, and the number of strange demons had increased, Natsuhi could do nothing but run for it. However, it made a scene and people gathered. The anti-magic toxin would burn Beato. Now was her last chance.
ありがとう、ルシファーさん。覚悟、後ろ見やナツヒ。
Once again, Beato choked the thin air. This time, she wouldn't let her escape. She had to end Natsui's pain right away before it got too drawn out. But her power wasn't enough. Though Natsui scratched at her neck, she also struggled to escape from the room. Her shaking hand stretched out to the lock on the door. A closed room is one of the concepts that allows a witch to be a witch. Yeah, every single room that they fought in this love trials, yeah, closed room, everything. They keep mentioning closed room this, closed room that. Just unlocking a door strengthened the anti-magic toxin a little. So yeah, the investigations that we will probably get later is gonna be so much interesting. Since Beato was at her limit, even within a closed room, if Natsuhi undid that lock, Beato's power would weaken immediately and Natsuhi would surely escape into the hallway. Their strengths were matched. However, Natsuhi began to surpass Beato's slightly. The power of the living to live is fundamentally stronger than the power of magic. Of course, Beato was mustering all her might. However, Natsuhi was just a bit stronger.
十分だ。
What is Butler?
ルシファー、やれ。
ギャイ。
Lucifer transformed into a stake and like the time she had smashed Natsui's spirit mirror, flew violently around the room. Then she struck Natsui's forehead. Natsuhi crumpled slowly. When Beato saw this, she also fell to her knees, breathing hard.
ねえゼパル、これってありなの？ベアトリーチェは自分の力だけで試練を成し遂げていないわ。
そうだねフルフル。確かに試練は誰の助けも借りずに成し遂げなくてはならない。
でもね、ひょっとしたらそれには例外があるんじゃないかしら。
愛する二人は互いで一人だもの。これは手助けじゃない。
バトラさん。
たかだか第一の晩からハラハラさせるな、お前は。
申し訳ございません。追いつけを守らなくて。
追いつけ？
その部屋でおとなしくしていなくて。
Beato hung her head apologetically. When he saw this, the butler scratched his head uncomfortably.
それを言ったら俺も申し訳なかった。言葉を選ばなかった。
いいえ、お父様。いえ、バトラさんは何も悪いことはありません。
いいぜ、好きに呼べばいい。
Butler had always looked at the new Beatrice sternly, or Beatrice, I mean, sorry. However, that was gone from his expression now.
確かに、かつてのお前は俺をバトラと呼びつけで呼んでいた。俺は最初、お前にそれと同じ呼び方を求めて押し付けていたかもしれない。しかし、そんなのに意味はないんだ。お前はベアトだが、お前はお前だ。好きに呼べばいい。
バトラさん。
そうだな。その呼び方がいいな。さすがにお父様は俺の趣味じゃねえぜ。
Earlier, she had hesitated just to say Butler's name at all. If Butler had told her to say his name without honorifics, she couldn't have done so right now. And even if she had, that might have hurt Butler even more. However, now she was allowed to call Butler by his name. He just had to look into her eyes. She was so happy. He had to see how happy this made her.
ゼパルとフルフルに聞いた。おかしなゲームが始まっているようだな。
はい。勝手なことをしてすみません。
いや、いい。そういう無軌道で何を始めるかわからないところも実にお前らしい。それにまあゲームの趣旨も聞いてる。二人一組で挑むのが正しいことになってるらしいな。
ええ、その通りですバトラ卿。
もしも見事我らの試練を勝ち残れたなら、
我らはあなたたち二人を祝福し魔法の奇跡を授けましょう。
こいつらがベアトの黄金蝶のブローチに力を与えてたらしい。だからその効果は保証済みってわけさ。俺とお前の腐れ縁ももう随分になる。たまにはこういう遊びがあってもいいだろうぜ。
バトラさん。
おや、聞いたかいフルフル。バトラ卿も試練に参加するようだ。
驚くには値しない。だってこれは最初から分かっていたことだもの。
ようこそ我らの試練へ、バトラ卿。ではあなたは誰を生贄に？
Okay, so we have our number 6. It's Butler.
俺の仕事はすでに終わってる。
What?
確認するといい。
かしこまりました、バトラ卿。さあフルフル、確認してこよう。
Okay.
そうしましょう。でもゼパル、これで愛し合う6人はみんな試練を成し遂げてしまったわ。
But it's done already. Okay. Let me see this again.
次はどうすればいいかしら。
6人の覚悟は本物だ。
The resolve of all 6 is the real deal.
さらに次の試練で試すとしよう。
The two noisy demons disappeared. They apparently had left to go check on the sacrifice Butler had killed. And also so that Butler and Beato, who could finally look at each other in the eye and talk, could have some time alone.
ここまでの物語はいかがですか？
So we're back. We're back in a normal future, I guess. When suddenly asked this question, Angie immediately came to her senses. Then she realized she had been immersed in Hachijo's tale. She felt a bit defeated and tried to look displeased.
愛の試練云々で巧みにごまかしてるけど、ちゃっかりと6人が死んで第一の番を構成してるわ。
True, yeah. As Angie is saying here, distract us with his love trial, but exactly 6 people have died as setting up the first Twilight.
うまいものね。
ありゃ、ほんとだ。こいつは気づかなかった。
Amakusa clapped his hands as though he had been outsmarted. Even though he figured it out before me, he played the fool.
愛し合う恋人たちの数がたまたま6人だっただけのこと。それが第一の番とうまく合致したのは偶然半分、
So who
様
is the
式で
victims?
半分。
Yeah, who is the victims then? Who's number 6?
その方が運命的で面白い。
人間は無意味な2つの事象を無理やり関連づけようとする悪癖がある。それを運命的と読み解かせるのが読み物の騙しでしょ。
お嬢はディスティニーとかミラクルとかそういうのに冷たいタイプらしいですな。
UFO と同じよ。誰もが知ってるけど誰も見たことないものだわ。
そいつはクールな例えだ。
と、いつもの私なら愛だの幻想だのはミステリーには不要な無駄なシーンねとばっさり行きたいところだけど、それはおこのぎさんに否定されたわ。そういう愛のない見方だけでは真実に迫れないってね。
ああ、おこのぎの旦那の殺し文句ですかい？愛がなければ見えない。
Without love, it cannot be seen. The favorite phrase in this game.
それそれ。人の家族を物語の中で勝手に殺すことに対する怒りは置いておいて、あえてこの物語を書いた八条先生に敬意を表して言うなら、その描写には意味があることになる。
There must be a point to this depiction.
何しろこれだけの文章量を割いて散々愛だの試練だの語ってる。つまりこれがこの物語のテーマでありキーワードだってことになるわ。
おや、赤インク以外で書いた文字はすべて読むに値しないとまで言い切る御人も多いというのに、光栄なるかな人の子よ、黒い文字も読んでくれて。
物語は書き手が何かを伝えるために書くものよ。そしてそれはどういうわけか、直接書いたら無粋という奥ゆかしい面倒な作法がある。
I mean, that is kind of right in this story. Some writers feel that it's unrefined to lay everything out too directly.
愛がなければ真実に至れない云々という描写はこれまでの作品にも品質するわ。それがこの新作ではさらに顕著。書き手が一番伝えたくて考えてほしいのはそれってことになるわ。
When you think about it, there have been many scenes about love ever since Beato first appeared. Even the first time she appeared before Shannon, she spoke clearly about how love was a single element of the world. And the golden butterfly brooch she had given was also an item for love. She had also said that she enjoyed sowing seeds of love and watching complications arise. And when Shannon stopped borrowing her power, the reason for her argument was also love. After her interactions with Butler started up in full scenes about love were toned down for a while. I mean, I guess you could say that, right? Just a little, yeah, just a little bit. Like in the second episode, yeah, it was pretty much big there. But then after that, sure, we saw some scenes, but yeah, not that much. Yeah, as it says here, it is really toned down after that. But the without love it cannot be seen definition of magic has been mentioned repeatedly. Then in this tale right before this one, when Beato became like a doll, several scenes made it seem almost as though Butler and Beato had accepted each other as rivals or possibly something more. In the end, the Butler had regained some memory and his impression of Beato had undergone a complete change. True. And then, in this game, from the beginning until now, the word love has been repeated over and over again.
あなたが書いた物語は愛が何度も繰り返される。でもそれはマリアお姉ちゃんの主張でもベアトリーチェの主張でもない。
That's not Maria Onechan's viewpoint or Beatrice's viewpoint.
八条東也の主張だわ。
The tale you wrote keeps talking about love.
そうです。それこそが私が語りたいこと。そして私なりの答えなのです。
And it is my own sort of answer.
答えじゃあつまり12年前の事件は全ておかしな悪魔の愛の試練で引き起こされたと？
バカバカしい。私はあんたの恋愛小説を読みにここまで来たんじゃないわ。私が知りたいのはあんたが至ったと自称する真実よ。
愚かなるかな人の子よ。これだけ文章を割いてまだ伝わらないというのですか。
With an obviously condescending gaze, Hachijo shrugged. It was clear that she was trying to provoke Angie. She was probably hinting that Angie should just go home if she was annoyed. If you're going to read my noble work and not even attempt to see whether you understand it, then get out. Normally Angie would already have thrown a fit and left. However, she couldn't do that. Though she didn't like someone else toying with her family's fates in a story, she has grown increasingly certain of something else as she read through it. Just as Hachijo's followers said, this tale really does have the same presence, the same scent as the tales written by Beatrice. The author was certainly different, however, because it reached the real truth, it had the same scent. Angie was beginning to acknowledge this. So yeah, as I was saying when we began this, that that someone who's writing this is most likely someone who was in the island, so definitely a survivor. Yes, and then Hachijo is more of how do I say this? Like a front person, right? This said person doesn't want to reveal their identity, at least right now. So Hachijo Toya, this girl we're talking with, is just a front. Maybe the one actually behind this is actually Hachijo Toya. We can say the name right. But And this girl, or that we're talking with, Federine's, what do you call this? Federine's alternate, maybe has a different name. We'll find out, right? Or maybe she is Hachijo, and then the one behind it has a different name. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, pretty much like, how would I say this? A pen name? Yeah, something like that. Hachijo Toya was one who had reached Beatrice's truth. An endless witch like Beatrice who could add to endlessly stretching parallel worlds of the cat box.
ベアトリーチェの真実にたどり着いたものならば
Because yes, this girl, like she was not in the island, right? Unless, for example, that maybe she is, how do I say this? It's been 12 years, right, in the future. So what if the actual Golden Witch, the culprit, survived and this is her, right? We don't really know what the actual culprit's face looks like. Correct? So maybe this could be her and then there was no one behind actually, but we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. I guess it's one of my other theories, yeah. One of the two, I mean. It's either she is a survivor from the island, she was the culprit. She changed her name, right? And this is her. Or there is someone behind her. That's, yeah, one or two. Yeah, one of them. One of those two theories.
私でなくとも新たな物語を紡げるでしょう。今回の原稿をもってきっと私以外にも真実に至るものが必ず現れる。
Because the way the story is written is, yeah, is like a person who was in the island, right? Who experienced all of it. Like you cannot really make something like this. Like it's like too familiar, correct? Like when Angie was saying, like, yeah, the one who's writing this is like they really know a lot, right?
そのものもまた新たな物語を紡ぐ資格を得るのです。
Okay, how to say this? With this new manuscript, I'm sure someone besides myself will appear and reach the truth. Those people will be qualified to create new tales of their own.
どんどん無限の魔女が増えていくわ。そう。そして何人もの無限の魔女たちがベアトリーチェの猫箱の物語を増やしていく。
But the thing is, like for example, let's say, yeah, many endless witches. You could say many other writers, correct? So for the many other writers, the way they will write the characters, I guess, would be much more different on how, let's say, a person who was in the island or who knows the people there would write them.
増えれば増えるほどまた新たに真実に至るものが現れる。そうすることで一番最初の無限の魔女ベアトリーチェがあれだけの枚数の手紙に物語を記してボトルに詰めて海に投じた労力が初めて報われるのです。あなたは私に怒りの言葉をぶつけ席を立つこともできた。しかしそれをしませんでした。なぜ？悔しいけれど、あんたの物語の中に何かの真相、もしくはヒントがあることを認めつつあるからよ。
Some kind of truth or hint within it. I already have my own ideas. However, that's no more than looking with a single eye. Unless I accept a different viewpoint from my own and look at things from more than one angle, I'll never be able to see the truth in 3 dimensions. That's my interpretation of without love, it cannot be seen.
それでよい、人の子よ。
I mean, I guess you could say that as well in the writing, right? The writing of this game. Or, yeah, the one writing this, let's say, yeah, these episodes. With love, it cannot be seen.
後ろ宮家の最後の生き残りであるあなたが真実に至り。
So definitely the one writing this is someone that was there for sure.
無限の魔女になることを運命も待ち望んでいるでしょう。私という存在など、あなたという真の継承者を覚醒させるためのただの道しるべに過ぎないのだから。エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ。
Ange Beatrice. Sometimes I don't understand what she's saying, however she knows something. And maybe she actually has reached the truth as she claims. In other words, I didn't learn the truth even after reading the 2 message bottles Beatrice left behind. And now I'm reading the tale after tale filled with hints.
これはヒントという名の挑戦であり、挑発なわけだわ。
いかにも。
上等じゃない。あんたがたどり着いたという真実を私も掴み取ってやるわ。やはり私はここに訪れるべきだったんだわ。
その通り、未だ至れぬから私が招いたのです。人の子よ。
But yeah, I do wonder though. I do wonder.
ようやく第一の番が起こりましたね。
She awake now? She's like, finally, it's been such a long time. I can finally make my move.
すくすく眠い展開でした。
片目に目やにがついてるぜ。
どこに？いい加減なこと言わないでください。
お望み通り始めるぜ。まずは第一の番だ。
It cracked. It's over. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, if someone did survive, it's either the culprit or, yeah, for the people, it's either the culprit or for Butler, I mean. It's just one of them two. Yeah, one of those two. But I'm leaning more onto, I guess, Butler, as he is, I mean, I guess, yeah, he is the main character of this game. So if someone did survive, it's most likely him. But this Hachijo Toya, man, she's a face, I guess. They need, like, someone, the survivor needs a face. The one is pretty much who's gonna take claims that she was the one who wrote all of this stuff, right? But yeah, I'm very, very intrigued though. Come on. We gotta know. We gotta know how it happened. What happened. If there is a survivor, I want to know who it is. Correct? That would be nice though. But that would be super, what do you call this? Not weird, but let's say, yeah, Hachijo, that Federine, that girl there. What if she was the culprit, right? Or she is the culprit, then she survived, and then she, yeah, she's that now. I think is we don't really have a face for her, for the culprit right now. Like we can just say, yeah, Sayo, right? Let's say Sayo. Shannon, Canon, Beatrice, all different faces. But what is the actual look of the culprit behind all of this? Right? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that Hachijo Toya is the culprit. Yeah, it's more on the lesser side right now. I'm leaning more on there is an actual survivor behind that. And it's probably Butler. Yeah. I think so. Because they know way too much. But yeah, this is getting very, very interesting now, and it's starting, I guess. The Twilights are starting yet again. 6 are gone. Who are the 6? We don't know who's the last one, I guess. So who do we have here? Okay, they don't show it yet because, yeah, the bodies haven't been discovered. So let's say Ava, Natsuhi, Kyrie, Rosa, and Maria. Who did Butler kill? I don't know. No idea yet. Imagine if Butler killed Erica. That'd be hilarious. But I don't know. Yeah, it's yeah, would he kill Nanjo? Let's say Nanjo, Goda, Genji, no reason at all. I doubt it. We'll find out. Maybe we'll see next episode, right? They'll reveal the 6 people who died in the first Twilight. We'll see. So anyways, we're gonna continue this and do more of Umineko and They Cry episode 6 in the next one. So I'll see you then, guys. Bye bye.